American community committed to preserving the vast customs of a vibrant cultural heritage.
Welcome to Darshan America, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Butani.
And I'm Aastha Verma.
Folks, I read an open letter from Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger of California in Wall Street Journal. And he's saying every year California has a problem with their budget. The reason they have a problem with the budget is because 80 cents of every dollar that's collected in taxes is then spent on the state employees and their benefits. And in particular, he's talking about is their pension benefits. One thing that he brought forward is if you're a fireman, and I love firemen, you know, I'm not saying anything about firemen, but if you worked as a fireman for 20 years, the next 45 years that you're going to live, you're going to be receiving the pension from the state. And now the state balances their budget every year, and the state of California has not accounted for all these pensions in the outer years. There are $550 billion in unfunded liabilities. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is saying, what kind of government are we running?
Well, this is a sensitive topic. People, when you talk about Social Security, you talk about pensions, they're very protective about that. They don't want to give up those benefits. One of the basic benefits of working for the government is the fact that it's one of the few places left where you can still get a pension. But clearly there's something wrong here because you have a hefty imbalance. For 20 years of service, you have 45 years of payout. There's something fundamentally imbalanced about that.
And not accounting for it. California is not the only state. In fact, there are a multitude of states. For instance, in New Jersey, Governor Christie, he's asking employees now to pay for their health insurance. I want to read you something which is kind of funny. It says, few Californians in the private sector have $1 million in savings, but that is effectively the retirement account they guarantee to many government employees. As a government employee, you can be a millionaire, but not while working for the private.
Well, there's a reason why California is bankrupt. You know, last year they were not paying their employees. They were giving them IOUs because they simply couldn't afford to pay people for their salary.
That's right.
You have a government now. I don't know if you heard this statistic, but the federal deficit, of course, has been rising. Did you know the Iraq war has cost this country over $3 trillion? That's the recent estimate of what this Iraq war effort has cost the U.S. There's a reason why we are in this economic slide. There's a reason why we're not coming out of recession. And the latest news on this topic is not looking positive either. This is a serious problem, and I think President Barack Obama really had no choice but to bring this war effort to a close because he's got bigger domestic problems at home.
That is very true, folks. It's going to take more than 10 years to get out of this morass. There's an entitlement government right now. You know, they're just giving away. And the problem is, you know, sorry, sometimes I get carried away with these, is because the politicians, when they want to get elected, they need those grassroots support. And who provides the grassroots support? There are some of these union organizations and the others that provide the and for that, what do they charge? 30% of the wages that need to be paid to the union. Private, they don't want to pay, but the government has to pay. So the biggest unions in the United States are in the municipalities, in the cities, and in the states.
But unfortunately, what should also occur is an accountability of where and how that money is spent. And what you're finding is that the accountability is not there. You know, just recently, they did a review of Katrina. And the expenses that were doled out then. Did you know 55% of the people who actually applied for aid didn't get it? And that they cannot account for 60% of the money that was spent on the Katrina effort. It just speaks to a basic fundamental problem that we have in accounting for how money is spent. So I think before any dollars are further spent on any of these causes, they should have a basic built-in to provide accountability for how that money is being used and what the return is.
You know, in fact, when President Obama got elected, he did say that he's going to be very transparent. So he's going to put all the awards of the contracts and the money that he pays
on the web.
On the web. Now that is happening, but it needs much more in the cities and the municipalities and the states, and that is also happening. In fact, last time you heard that scandal where one of the mayors paid himself like $1 million or something.
That was in California.
Yeah. So that city, along with the other cities in California, now they're saying every time you write a check, you let us know why you're writing and who you're writing it to. So the policeman will be the population. We're going to govern ourselves. Ultimately, it had to come to that, right?
Well, if it helps the situation, although I don't know right now with the economy the way it is, that the American public is looking forward to have to police the government, if you will.
Folks, a few years ago, Senator Reid said that children born to the illegal immigrants should not automatically get citizenship. He was so called out on it that he actually apologized. But that particular movement is really moving up. Right now, 1 in 12 children are born to the illegal immigrants, those who come here. Now, understand, that's 8% of the population of the United States of America. And that is the fastest growing population. They're saying that this 14th Amendment to the Constitution was actually done to make sure that the slaves and their kids were incorporated into the American population. Now, what do you say to the illegal immigrants? Is that the same argument can be made?
No, I don't think that the 14th Amendment should get brought back up to the table for rediscussion. I think you, as a nation, decided to honor slaves in this country. You have always been an immigrant-based country. To